AX7, just for high level, I don't know if everyone know or not, it is a cloud-based ERP. Oh, I'm sorry, my typing is going bad due to keyboard issues. Cloud-based ERP by Microsoft. The first thing you have to understand is whenever I say cloud, the payment will be recurring, not one time. You don't pay for one time and use the machines forever. It is not possible. You have to pay every month or every year, depending on your payment policies and your company policies. You have to pay that, and few number of dollars, say for example 3,000 or 4,000, whatever it is. That is the point here. And the second thing is your machines will sit in Microsoft servers. Unless you buy your own or you establish your own data center, your servers will go and sit in Microsoft Azure cloud. And remember always, AX is deployed on Azure. I mean AX7 is deployed on Azure, and you cannot deploy on the other environments like Windows 7 or 8 or anywhere, and you will not get the software. Some people are asking me, sir, can I get the the software which is on premise or off premise, whatever it is, and I want to install in my environment. It is not possible yet, but I'll tell you how to download this stuff and how to get an environment in production also. I'll tell you how to get them, but today we are not going to see them. I wish everyone understood what is the ERP and what is cloud-based ERP, because AX 2012. I want to go for the architecture of AX7. I don't know if I just told you about this architecture in earlier sessions or not, but this is very important. These days, people are more focusing on the architecture. They are asking the questions on the architecture. So we want to see the architecture. We want to go create a model, and we want to understand how to use the AOT. That is our first session. Then we'll go for the basics of AOT and create some objects, build and understand some basics. And then we want to go for Azure Learning and LCS Portal to download the video. Okay, it is like 2 to 3 days. We want to become familiar with the architecture and the Visual Studio and stuff. Then we want to go and learn some basics of Azure and all those things, because people, they are not understanding what is the purpose of Azure unless we get the machine. So I want to tell them what is the purpose of these machines, and we want to understand the AX environment first. We want to get into AX environment. And if I don't tell you how to download, you cannot download, right? Maybe you are from different regions and you want to download. So that's why we want to see that, and we'll see most probably on Monday or Tuesday. We'll go with the LCS and we'll download the environment. I'm not going to download, it takes time. Okay, it is 30 GB. So I want you to download the environment yourself. Now the architecture, the first thing is, architecture of AX 2012. It is 3 tier. When I say 3 tiers, remember, when I say 3 tiers, it is 3 applications running. Remember, tier is a process. Actually, I can say 3 processes, but yeah, we don't use that word. They call us 3 tier. And 3 tiers is 3 applications running. And what are all those applications? The first one is your AX client, or we'll start from SQL Server. SQL Server is one application, and the second one is Application Object Server. This is one application, and the third one is your AX client. This is one more application. You may ask, sir, when I deploy in some service in IaaS or somewhere, what do you call that? Is it a tier or layer? It is also a tier. In that case, it goes to one more tier, right? If I deploy one AAF application, we may have one more tier in this case. So should I call as 4 tier? No, actually it is only 3 tier, because this is optional. Even if you don't deploy a service or you don't have a AAF service, still you can work with AX, right? You can create a sale order, you can post a sale order, you can create a customer, and that's why it is called as 3 tier. Remember, whenever I say tier, it is a separate application. Like if you go to the task manager, and if you go to the details or processes, you will see the applications here. You will see something called as AX32 server.exe. That is your AOS. You will see something called as SQL server.exe. Should be there somewhere. Okay. I don't know if it is stopped. You should see SQL server.exe, and that is your SQL server application. The third one is, you should see AX32.exe. It is your client application. Okay, AX32.exe. This is about AX 2012. Now AX7, you have the similar architecture. AX7 has got similar architecture we call as 3-tier architecture. Okay, thin client or thick client, don't worry about those things. It is 3-tier. Whether it is thin client or thick client, it will not make any difference. We'll communicate with server, do the operation. So it is my 3-tier architecture. And actually there are more number of tiers in AX7, but I just want to focus on the minimum stuff, whatever we need to work with AX7. 3-tier architecture. What are those 3 tiers? Again, when I say 3-tier, it is 3 applications. Remember, it is not 1 application. It is 3 applications. The first application is SQL, but this is on Azure. Am I going to have access? You are going to have access if it is a development box or a testing box, but you may not have access if it is the production box. Why we are not going to have access if it is production box? Because Microsoft is responsible for the services you are paying or for the services you are getting. You are paying every month $1,000. You are getting one environment, you are using that, but who is responsible? Microsoft is responsible for maintaining those servers because those servers are in Microsoft Azure cloud. And if you do something wrong in the database, running some query or deleting some data, a lot of times when I go to the customer and do the consistency check, they'll get errors. It will say, yeah, you have few sales orders without lines, or it will say you have few sales lines without the order. That is worse, right? So those kind of issues I'm going to face because customers has got access to database, and they'll do a lot of customizations. Sometimes I'll bet you just go to your production environment, all the guys, and try to compile the whole AOT. How many people you just watch whatever the errors you are going to get and come back saying I don't have any error. Trust me, I want to understand whether you are getting the error or not in this case, because even productions people are deploying with the errors. I have seen with almost 80% of my customers. This is because of the customizations done by the people, and they don't care if something is not working, because a job, if it is not working, people don't care. A class, if some method is not working, people don't care because maybe they are not using, and until they get the error, even customers don't come back because they don't know. That is how we are working in a lot of cases. I don't want that to happen. Microsoft don't want that to happen. And that's the case where, these people are restricting you to use the environment. And the SQL Azure, you'll not have access to production boxes. The second one is your AOS, Application Object Server. This Application Object Server is in your IaaS. IaaS stands for Internet Information Server. And when I say Internet Information Server, it is the web server from Microsoft. I don't know if you ever heard some servers like Tomcat or WebLogic or Glassfish or kind of servers, JBoss. They are very popular servers. Oracle, some servers are there. And this is one of the servers given by Microsoft, IaaS, Internet Information Server. And this is used for hosting ASP.NET applications, if anyone .NET guys are there. Now, the AOS is hosted on your IaaS because AOS is not a Windows service. It is a web service from now. Remember, it is a web service. The web service, which is going to give us the services. It will communicate with the SQL Azure, create the customer or do the sale order, whatever you want to do, and it will come back with the output. That is the use of your AOS hosted on IaaS. If you go to the services, usually where you will see these two things, you will go to the services.msc and you will check if your Microsoft Dynamics 6 server is there or not there. If you watch here, you don't see Microsoft Dynamics Application Object Server anymore. It is there in some other location. I'll tell you how to find that in a second. Okay. Now watch here, you don't have Microsoft Dynamics Application Object Server. But this box is one box. You see my screen, right? I'm logged into my VM. I'm not logged into Azure, machines, whatever I got from Microsoft. Because as I told you, if you have to get the machines from Microsoft, you have to pay at least $500 to $800 for getting one simple machine, the dev box, which with 16 GB of RAM and one Azure database or local database, whatever it is. The dev boxes may have in the local, but production boxes will have in the Azure. So you need minimum $500 to $800, and I cannot afford $500 to $800. That's why I downloaded my VM for practice and to show you. Now I'm showing on the same machine. You see the name of this one, D365V8.0. It is my V version 8.0 machine. Okay. And now let us understand where is SQL in my machine. It is there in my local. I'll show you SQL Server, what all the database is there and which database, what is the schema and stuff also, because a lot of guys nowadays they are asking more things. We'll go into deep dive. Okay, we'll deep dive into the architecture. Now this is my SQL Server. Then where is client? The third one is your AX client. You will open the AX client in the Internet Explorer or your Chrome or whatever it is. Okay, your web browser. I should say web browser. I'm using Internet Explorer, but yeah, let's say web browsers. The most popular browsers we'll use are, one is Internet Explorer or Edge, and the next one is Chrome. These are the two browsers we are preparing right now. And yeah, you can try with Apple Firefox, or I don't know, whatever the browsers are there, you can check. And now let us see where is this AWS. We spoke a lot about AWS, we spoke a lot about browser, we spoke about SQL. We want to open those and see what kind of databases are there and where is AWS. In addition to that, we have any other servers or not. And then we'll understand this 3-tier again. We'll come back to this 3-tier. Remember, architecture is very important. Architecture will take 2 days. This is one session of architecture. We have one more architecture. We call as application stack. That is internal to AX. You know the layers and other stuff, right? That architecture belongs to that. I'm going to speak about that in the session, you know, after maybe a week or some time, because I want to make you understand some basics of AX, then go for that architecture so that you will be familiar with that. Okay. Now let us go to the AWS. Where is AWS? You have to go to run, type inet mgr, which will open your IaaS configuration console. It's kind of console. It's IaaS console used for managing the websites, either add the website, delete the website, stop the website and stuff. Go to this and expand your server. This is your server. Expand. You should see the list of the sites. Expand the sites and you see that AWS service, right? So that is your AWS service. Now you may ask, sir, we used to stop and start the AWS a lot of times in our organization if something goes wrong. What can I do here? No problem, still you can do that. Click on this, click on stop, click on start, or click on restart. You can still restart or stop and start the AWS service. That is possible. Or if you want to start and stop all the services, you can go to this, the server, you can stop, you can start, or you can restart. It is also possible, but you are stopping all the websites. Remember, these are all websites. Okay, these are all websites, and your websites, all websites are stopped if you stop this one. So just remember, if you want to stop only one thing, go to the particular server and stop, or you can go here and stop and start. And if you want to start and stop on the whole everything, you can run a command called as IaaS reset from command prompt, which should be easier. Okay, and you know, you see this service, right, or server. This server is there in services. I want to go for services also. This server, whatever you see here, you will see as a service. That service is World Wide Web Publishing. If you start here or if you start here, it is same, one and same. You are starting the IaaS. So if you stop this, it will automatically stop there. Remember. And if you have any problem, you can check this one. Come back here, check this. If you are not able to start this, there is some serious problem. Remember, you have to go and fix. And when I start this, what is the exe I'm going to see? What is the process I'm going to see? Go to your task manager, details. You should see something called as W3 wp.exe, World Wide Web Process. It is the IaaS process. You will see this. If you stop, you will not see this. So just remember, that is your hint to do the troubleshooting or debugging. If your AX is not working, you have to check all these things. You have to check why it is not working, and you are going to check all these things, right? Now let us go back to the next thing, the SQL server. I'm just closing this. Remember IaaS. Remember again how to go to the IaaS and what we can do. Go to the run and type inet manager and click on OK. Now you should expand your server, and the sites you should see AWS service. If this is not there, or if this is stopped, you cannot browse the AX services or AX client. Remember, this is the website which you are going to use for browsing the AX client. Remember. And yeah, I think I have to go with one more thing, one final thing. Let's explore and see what is there in this one. If you right click and click on explore, you should see the DLL files related to your developments, all these things. You can watch here. There are a lot of DLL files. Never ever delete. Especially it is working on Azure, right? You will see these Azure VLOps, Azure blah blah, whatever it is. Never ever delete any of these DLL files, because whatever the code you are going to develop, even that will comment it here. Okay, and you can just go and type star.dll. You will see a lot of DLLs. I'll tell you how to find the stuff whatever you have done here. You can see the application suite and stuff. I don't know if you are familiar with these things. If you ever went to the architecture stuff, you'll see in Google. That's why I'm showing. Okay, there are a lot of things. When it is Microsoft Dynamics, the code of Dynamics AX will comment it here in these DLLs. So never ever delete. You'll lose some functionality. Okay. Now let's close this. That is about your AOS. Now let's go to the SQL Server. To go into SQL Server, it's as usual. Go to SSMS, right click, run as administrator or whatever it is. I already have the SSMS open here. Let me open that. So watch here, SQL Server. You have one interesting database. The first one is AXDB, and you have the other interesting database, AXDW, and you have a couple of databases related to Azure. One is Azure Storage Emulator. The second one is your report services. You know the SSR is reporting in AX 2012. I'm sorry. The SSR is reporting before it generates a report. It has to go and sit in the reporting services, right? Report server will have the tables and stuff related to that, and those will come and sit here. It is temporary database used for generating reports, and these two are used for same. This is Dynamics AX RefDB. You may see some kind of system table stuff, the database version or the modules you have installed and stuff. Don't delete this. This is having the information about the modules and other things you have here, the references you are using. Other than that, there is nothing to do. You don't need to worry about this database. And the management reporter. If anyone heard about management reporter, it is used for developing and watching the reports, the financial reports kind of things, instead of going to your SSRS also. Okay, easy way development and watching. So that is management reporter database. Yeah, we don't need to worry about this one also. These are not mandatory. This management reporter is not mandatory. The Microsoft Dynamics AX RefDB, they gave this. Whenever you get Microsoft Dynamics AX 7, don't worry about this one. You can say it is related to version, modules installed and stuff here. You want to go and delete the modules installed? No, right? So you don't want to unlink, and that's why don't touch this. And these two databases are related to reporting. You open the report, they'll work. Don't need to worry. And Azure Storage Emulator, I don't care whatever it is, because it is related to Azure, not related to us. The AXDW, this is your, the stuff which is used for storing your aggregate entities, or one second, you call as cubes. You will have some cubes kind of stuff, the measures, cubes and stuff. Those kind of stuff will come and fit in this database. And I'll tell you how to create the kind of aggregate measures and all those things. I'll tell you how to make it as cube, but it is not required, because cubes we used to speak in AX 2012. Now we are just working with the aggregates and using them. I'll tell you how to do that. Okay, when we come there, I'll tell you where it will come and fit. So don't worry for now. And yeah, don't delete this database again, because it will have the information. If you delete your aggregate measures and measures, all those things may not work. This is one concept in your AX. Here, if you go to Application Object Explorer, you should see the aggregate entities and stuff. Not sure, one second. Data model, yeah, you will see here the data entities and aggregate entities kind of things. So these may not work. So don't delete the database. And finally, AXDB. This is the actual database where you are going to work. Okay, this is the database where actual data is stored. You call as application database. The question is, where is model database? Or we used to have two databases, right? Application database and model database in AX 2012. Where is model database? I'll come to model database in a minute. Before that, we'll go into this one, application database. So you have tables here in the application database. Good. And tables, what is the schema you are going to have in the tables? I don't know if you know what is the meaning of schema, but the database will have something called a schema. It is like prefix. Okay, like for example, if you go to AX database in your 2012, you will see DBO dot. That is called a schema. DBO is the schema. And now we'll see what are all the schemas there in this database. Okay, so we'll expand this. You see here, what is the database? It is AX dot. So there is no DBO dot schema. Okay, here I'm not teaching SQL Server here unless you don't know basics of SQL also. We don't work on SQL. We'll work more on AX. But I suggest you to get familiar with SQL also. I'll tell you, if Hyderabadis are there in this call, couple of institutes in Maitrivanam, they'll teach SQL. They'll take 500 rupees. They'll teach SQL one Saturday and one Sunday. You can just go and sit there. I'm not saying you have to become perfect or you have to be experts in SQL, because we don't do more on SQL. We'll work more on AX. I'm going to teach you whole AX. But SQL, how to write the queries, how to use the joins and stuff, you will get for that 500, right? 500 is very less amount, right? So just go and sit there once. Because in AX7, it is very easier to work on SQL Server than AX. If you just go to AX job and write the query run, it takes maybe 1 minute of time. If you go to SQL, you'll write in 10 seconds. If you have query writing skills. And it is not only for that reason. Let us say you take 2 or 5 minutes for writing the query. Still, if you go to SQL, you can simply select and do a lot of things, but AX you have to run from Visual Studio. And if you learn SQL, you'll improve your AX query writing skills also. It is for improving the query writing skills, because right now query writing is more important than whatever your work, because we'll write a lot of queries, right? You may say we wrote a lot of queries, but still learning some SQL will help you. If you know, that's good. And now watch here, AX dot is one schema. I want to speak about this. And the second schema is, I want to scroll down 1 second. DBO dot. You have AX dot, you have CRT dot, and you have DBO dot. 3 types of schemas. We'll understand what are these schemas. Actually, I don't know if anyone of you know that there is a module called as retail in AX. There is a module called as retail module. This retail module will have 2 components. One is headquarter, one is store. What is the meaning of retail? You go to Big Bazaar, you buy something, they'll give you the bill. How they'll give the bill? They'll go and type something on their console. That console is called as POS, point of sale. It will have its own database. We call that as store database. Remember. And this store database will store the transactions in the POS. And when I call headquarter, it is AX. And initially in AX 2012, we used to give n number of databases. The first database is on SQL Server. Rest of the databases are on SQL Express or SQL Server. If they have good enough, the license, we used to give one SQL Server. They'll pay once, right, for SQL Server. They never used to have any problem. But now in AX7, they have to pay every month. If I give one database, I'll take for one database. If I give 2 databases, I'll take for 2 databases. If they have 100 stores, if I give 100 databases, man, whatever they are making, the money, they have to pay to Microsoft. They cannot make any profits. That is the problem. That's why we don't want to give more than one database. And what we did, we gave only one database for the headquarter, I would say AX, and the store. And headquarter or AX database schema is DBO. Store schemas are AX and CRT. These 2 are store database related schemas. You'll understand if you learn this about, you'll understand about this if you know something about retail. So don't worry about that. Okay, just remember AX database is AX and store database is store. Just remember that. Okay. So now we don't want to go for 2 or more databases, because we want to save the money of Microsoft customers. We are Microsoft, say for example. We want to save some money for the customer, saying, hey, you don't need to buy more than one database. So how it is possible? We'll accommodate all the tables in one database. And that is using different schemas to identify AX dot or CRT dot. And that's why you see multiple schemas. And this is about your database. Now let us do one thing. I think every one of you know about AX. So we'll write one query to get one table information, either customer or vendor or sales or whatever it is. And we'll see whether those tables are still there and stuff. Select start from cust table. Remember, this is DBO dot cust table I want to give, because I want to get the AX headquarter stuff, not the store. If you use DBO dot, you will get only headquarter stuff. Now I'm running. So was there, you have the Data, right? Database is there, data is there, and let us scroll here. All the fields are there. That is good. We know all these fields, and now we'll understand a couple of things. The first thing is your modified date time. Those fields we already know. Modified by, who modified, created date time, etc. The other fields, they are all the application fields, whatever you created, or the guy who created this table, they created. But these are few system fields. And data area ID, still it is there. And data area ID this is used for identifying company. If data area ID is there, the meaning is you can create more than one company also, right? So for now, we don't need to worry about that. The next one is record version. If you modify something, it will go to record version. I mean, it says the record version is modified because you modified something. And there is one thing called as partition. Partitions, this field is there for backward compatibility, but it is a dead field now. You cannot create more than one partition. You will work only in one partition. So you don't need to worry about this partition. The final thing is your rec ID. This rec ID is again same field, which is going to give the versions of the record and stuff. That's it. Remember, this partition alone is one field which you may no need to worry about, because this is kind of field, I can say, deprecated, but they cannot remove this because of lot of dependent code on this field. So that's why they are still using this field in the tables, but otherwise they don't need to keep this field. You can watch here, you will not see any other partitions. There is only one partition. I'm scrolling, watch here. There is only one. Oh man, we have one more thing. Maybe that is some other junk data or whatever it is, but you cannot switch the partition. If you go and start your AX client, you'll see directly one thing, and you don't have any way to switch the partition like you do in AX 2012. Okay. Now the next thing is, I have 3 schemas. Remember, you don't need to worry about the other 2 schemas because you are not retail guys, you are just AX guys. So just work with the DBO schema and don't worry, write the queries with the DBO schema. Or if you don't use this DBO dot, by default it is DBO schema. Just remember, if you don't use the DBO, it is DBO by default. If you want from AX, you have to give AX dot. I don't know if any data is there. Let's try. Oh, we have some data here. Good. But watch here, there are fields a bit different here, right? So that's kind of different stuff, but I don't care whatever it is. Okay. Now you may not have a lot of tables in what do you call this AX schema, because AX schema is used only for retail. You'll have around 300 tables, but AX has got 4,000. All the data is not pushed into store. Okay, that's retail. Don't worry. Now the 2 things done are, one is SQL, one is IAS, and yeah, we are not done with SQL completely, it seems, because we don't have model database where my model is there, where my model is going to store. The model from now, from AX7, it will not go and sit in your database. Instead, they created a folder and they created the XML files to keep your models. And one of the models I'll show you. If you go to your AOT, I think I just introduced AOT, or I'll introduce again. I'm just going to Visual Studio. Let me open the Visual Studio. 1 second, it is taking time, and you may need to bear sometimes because it takes some time. This is the local boxes, right? You should have at least 16 GB of RAM. When I say at least, it works slow. If you have 32 or 64 GB, it works speed. So minimum 16 GB to work with AX, the environment, the Visual Studio or AX7 environment, whatever I'm trying to do. My machine is with 16 GB of RAM. That's why it's a bit speed or slow or whatever you call. And if you have less than this, you cannot work. Right click on your Visual Studio 2015. Remember, it's 2015 from AX7. Mode, run as administrator. Just run as administrator, not directly clicking that, because it will not connect to the IAS. It should have elevated permissions. Now say yes if it asks. Sometimes it may not ask. And let it open. It's going to take maybe 1 or 2 minutes, or yeah, it got opened, I think, in backend. Good. And if you don't see this Application Explorer, click on View and click on Application Explorer. You should see that Application Explorer. This is like your AOT here. I'll show you how the stuff is organized. You should see the data types. You may say, we used to have data dictionary. Where is data dictionary? Watch here. The basin and CDTs are there in data types. The tables and views are there in data model. These two collectively form your data dictionary. Okay, so they renamed them. They created few groups for easy identification. If I want to create an EDT, I don't need to go for data dictionary. I'll go for data types. If I need to create a table, I'll go for the data model. Model is used for storing the data. It's more of MVC style. When I say MVC, the model refers to the data. View refers to the UI. You can watch here the UI. It is view, right? And the controller refers to the code, whatever you are going to write. So it is more of MVC style. And you know the MVC, you know already MVC. You are using in reports. You are using in the batches, this operation framework and stuff, right? So that kind of stuff. Now you see this kind of organization. So it should be simple. Looking at that, you will understand, or if you don't understand, expand, you will see the same names again: classes, macros, the form styles or menus, and the reports. Right, the same thing, and the services, security, roles, role-based, all those things. So you will see the same stuff. Okay, we'll learn each of them. You know, whatever is advanced in Excel. I don't again show you creation of EDT because you'll get frustrated. I don't show you creation of basin. I want to show you what are the extra properties, or what is the change in creation of EDT, or what is the change in the properties, and if we got anything new, or what is the significance of that, right? So we'll go in that mode. Now watch here, this is one mode we call as classic view. We call as classic view. Right click on your AOT, you'll see something called as modal view. Now we are on classic view, you can see the modal view. This modal view will show you the models, whatever is there in your environment. We have these many models. All these are created by you or me? No, they are given by Microsoft. These many models? Yes, ma'am. They gave a lot of models. But I have my own models also. I think we have one model created by us. I think it is maybe Dynamics 365 or something, some learning model maybe we created. I don't see that, but we'll create one model. I'll tell you how to create a model. Okay. Right, watch here. I think this is BMS. BMS is not standard model. You'll see the tables with our names. Very few tables, right? BMS account details, BMS customer details. This is for our batch. Okay, we are, even I'll give you one code. If this is BMS, I'll give your code as MMS or whatever it is. Okay. Now, watch here. There is one model called as application foundation or application platform or application suite. I want to show you where is this model. Now, let us go to the folder structure. Where is the folder? C drive, application object server, service, AOS service is the folder, packages local directory. You have the application foundation, application platform, application suite, DMS. So you have whatever the stuff you created in the model in the folder structure. Then where are our objects? I created some object called as BMS. What is that? BMS. Let's check one second. Tables. BMS account details. Where is this? Let us go to the BMS and we'll go into the XPP metadata. BMS. You should see the object types, whether it is table or class or whatever it is. Go to your table, you should see the tables in the form of XML documents. Now right click on this and click on edit, it should open in Notepad. You'll see here the return types, methods, the table fields, all those things. Right? This is about your object. I'll go to the customer table object now because you are very familiar with customer table. Customer table is in the application suite model. In the application suite, you can go into the XPP metadata. In the metadata, you have to go into the foundation, and you should see a lot of things here. AX table. Sorry, first table. You see this, right? Right click on this and click on edit, and you see a lot of things here. Right? It's very bigger XML file. Please watch here because customer table has got lot of things, remember. Okay, so that is about your model store and where your objects are. Just remember, model store is no more a database. It is in the file system, and these files will have the folders. This file system will have the folders for each and every model you create. Lot of models, lot of files, lot of folders, and each folder will have its own stuff organized You have to go into the XPP metadata and you will go into the foundation. You will see what are all the things created. Or you can go into other folders also, like foundation. You will see what are all the things there. Okay, the same foundation you will see here. The same table you are going to see here. I'll open AX table, 1 second. For all the things, AX is the prefix here, right? AX table, 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 right? It is here AX table, and you can go to the first table, right? So just go to that place and watch whatever is there. That should be enough. And whatever you modify here in your Visual Studio, it will go and sit in your what do you call the folder structure. It will go to the same folder structure. The XML file will get updated. This is the architecture. Remember, again, architectural difference bole to don't think like, okay, it is 3 tier. No, that is not simple architecture. I mean, when I say architectural difference, you have to say about the model store first thing, and you have to say about the database schemas. These are all the things will come into the architecture, right? So we are good with the SQL IAS models. Now, how I'm going to access the AX client? We'll open the browser. I'll open Chrome or I'll open IE. Anything works. I'm more habituated with Chrome, so let's open the Chrome. And you need the link for accessing your Microsoft Dynamics AX client. Oh man, Kumar, how I'm going to get the link? You didn't tell how to get the link. I'll tell you. Go to iNet Manager. Again, go to your website. Click on Browse. You got the link. Oh, I'm sorry, I opened new tab. You got the link, right? And watch here, this HTTPS, it is throwing error because certificate is expired. I'm using this from past 6 months, maybe. Every 6 months, I think it will expire, or every 1 year. So just go and get the certificate or continue. Even if it expires and no one will hack our machine, don't worry. Okay, we are not doing anything in maybe Delhi, Raj Bhavan or White House. So no one will hack, don't worry. You can just go with this HTTPS. It will throw the error saying your certificate got expired. Shall I continue or not? Click on continue. That should be enough. Okay. So now that's good. We got the link. Just remember this link, or if you once browse, you can simply say click on enter. It will automatically show the link because Chrome is very intelligent. It will remember whatever you used recently. And now let us understand some very basics of this UI, and we'll go back to the other things because I want to continue with the architecture. Architecture is not yet done. Now click on this. You'll see the modules list. Click on accounts receivable or something. You have a lot of kind of objects like the menu items, the customers or vendors or sales. All these things a bit different. You don't see in AX7 like this. They are organized in a bit different way, but still they are the same. If you watch here, the inquiries is there, periodic is there, setup is there. Some modules, they have more differences in watching these, but yeah, it is all overall you are going to have all the menus, right? AX 2012, AX7, functionally there is very less change. Don't expect 100% change. Only UI got changed a lot, but otherwise functionality is not changed a lot. They added new features, but all the AX 2012 features are there in AX7 functionally. Technically, you have to develop in AX, the Visual Studio, and there is some major change development itself, and the forms got changed. We have entities, and DXF is modified a lot. So we want to learn them. We'll learn them one by one. The model handling, all those things. Now going to this one, this will have some user options and settings. You can just go to user options, a small administration, user level administration, and you can go to the preferences and select your theme or select your preferences to which company you want to log in and stuff. You can watch here your time zone or your country and all those things, right? You don't have anything called as partition here. Even if you have more than one partition, how you log in into the separate partition? You don't have anything related to partition. That is the problem here. So that's why that partition is no more used. Don't worry about that. Even if it is used, it will be taken by some other guys. You don't need to worry being developers or end users. Okay. Now this is my client. So that's it. We are good with the client. If you want to change company, click on this and change this. And there is one interesting facility. If you don't know, I'm saying, boss, go and open retail devices form. You don't know. You can type here retail devices. It will show you the retail devices or whatever it is. You'll see the stuff. That's help. This help is new thing. And the info boxes, whatever you get or information, you'll see here the notifications kind of stuff. And if you want to give feedback to Microsoft, you can give the smiley, right? Like, dislike. And there is one final thing. If you are raising some ticket to the Microsoft saying, boss, there is some error in my environment, in my prod, give this information. Please educate this to your end users. Okay, because you are the guys developing and you are the guys interacting with the end users. Please give this information to the end users. A lot of end users, they don't know what information they have to give. Give this session information to the Microsoft guys when you got the error and other stuff. They'll come up with the fixes. Okay. Now back to the next one. I want to cancel this. Back to the next one. This is about your help and support. You'll get some documentation and stuff. Go there and try, look into the documentation or whatever it is. And this is your user information. If you want to sign out, sign out. Other than that, no worries. And this is my user. You have to create a user before you deploy the machine. I'll tell you how. Okay, but not now. I'll tell you maybe next session or after a couple of days, because otherwise people, they don't understand. They are feeling like this guy is speaking in alien language. I don't want to go for that. Now we are good with this. So we know the 3 tiers. There are 2 more things to watch here in the services. Microsoft Dynamics 365 batch management service, data import export framework service, management reporter service. So we have 3 more things, not 2. The batch service, the DIXF service, the management reporter. You know why I don't call it 6 tier? If I have to speak honestly, it is 6 tier, right? Because we have 3 more services. But why I'm not calling a 6 tier? Because even if these 3 services are not running, they are stopped or they are not there, still you can create a customer manually. You can post a sale order manually, but you may not create or post a sale order in batch. If you scheduled a batch, you know the batch job. If you scheduled a batch job for importing some data or for posting all the sale orders at a time, it will not work because the batch service is either stopped or not there. Other than that, if you don't want batch service forever, simply go to UI and work, man. So that's why I'm calling this as 3-tier architecture. Okay, again, this is 3-tier thin client because your client is in IE. That's why I call it 3-tier thin client. But thin client, don't worry. If it is thin or thick, don't worry. So it is 3-tier architecture. And these other 3 services, they are also tiers. When I say batch management service, I want to show you here. Watch. There is one exe running here called as batch.exe. And this is your batch service. If the batch service is running, you will see this one. And for debugging, you need this one. I'll tell you when we go to debugging. Okay, you need this one. If this is not running, you cannot debug the batch jobs. So I'll tell you how to debug, but just remember batch.exe. So it is 4-tier, right? When I speak with batch. If it is 5-tier, when I say DX. It is 6-tier when I say the management reporter. So these are all the extra tiers, and these extra tiers are supporting for extra operations, not the core operations. Okay, just remember that. Now it is only 3-tier, but you may have more things to work with, and you can call as n-tier architecture in case you want to say, but you have to explain what are all the other tiers there and what is the purpose and what is the significance. Now you know about those tiers, those services, the database, motor store, everything, the basic architecture of things, and you know what is there in these kind of stuff. I want to just add one object from my BMS because I created this. I want to just add one object into my project and see how to do some kind of modification. Okay, I'm just going with BMS tables. Now you have 2 ways to add. You can right click and click on add to the project. If you click on add to new project, it will create a new project. If you click on add to project, it will add to the existing project, but there is no project open here, right? So it may not add in my case because there is no project. Now if you click on add to new project, it will create a new project and add. Let's click on this. And I'm not giving any name. Let it say unified operations 1, and the template is unified operations. Don't check these things. These are for different requirements. You have to go for unified operations. Click on OK. That's it. You will see here the BMS account details got added. Double click, working is same. Right click kind of things will work. So we'll see what is the difference, but just project creation and adding the objects. Now if you want to add one more object, right click add to project, because project is already there. Add to project. And if you right click on this and click on create duplicate, it will duplicate here. It will say underscore copy or something. So if you want a copy of this one, just duplicate. It's up to you. Okay. Now these are the two objects you have in my project. I can don't delete. If you delete, it will delete forever. If you don't want these in your project, you have to exclude from the project. I'm telling you the basics of Visual Studio project understanding. Exclude from the project. Done. Now you watch here, this is in which layer? The user layer. You don't need to worry about the layers anymore. You have to worry about the models. This is model centric. AX 2009 is layer centered or layer focused development. AX 2012 is layered focused development, but models are there. And AX 7 is model focused development. You don't need to worry about the layers, but you will not have access to sys and other layers. I'll tell you how to choose the layer and how to choose the model and stuff. Let's go for only model. If you want to change this model from BMS to application suite or any other model, you can right click on your project, go to the properties and select the model. You can select whatever the model you want. Say for example, application suite, apply. Okay, watch here. And one interesting thing I want to show you the error. Let's go for BMS back, apply, okay, right click, add to project. You cannot change the model now. You cannot change the model now because there is already one object belonging to BMS in this project. If you change this to model, what do you call the application suite, this object cannot be moved into application suite. That's why you cannot change to application suite. Okay. Now, if you want to change, you can either exclude this and change, or you can create a new project and select whatever the model you want. Should be easier, right? Because we may work with multiple models at a time. Create a new project and select the model. I'm adding the operations to. The model is fleet management. You can already say default model, but yeah, you can just go into this and change to the application suite or whatever you want to select. I'll speak about those models. Okay, don't assume this guy is not speaking whatever I know, if you know something, because we cannot speak all the stuff in one day. Okay, we cannot learn all the stuff in one day. Point one. And point two, we want to learn in organized way. We don't want to learn bits and pieces here and there, and then, you know, don't understand like, oh man, what I'm learning. Okay, don't think like what I'm learning. We want to go in organized way. And for going in organized way, please just get this, what do you call, the course brochure. And we are just organizing in this way. If you think something should be up, down, somewhere, you can ask me, we'll do that. Okay. So right now, whatever you create here will go into the application suite model. Remember, not into BMS model. Whatever you create in this BMS project will go into the BMS model, not into application suite model. Now I pointed to application suite project. Watch here. My application suite project is selected in the solution explorer. Right click on this. I'm not able to add to the project. The only reason is this project is using application suite model. I'm clicking on the BMS, right click, and watch here. I'm able to add to the project because I'm in the project which is connected to the BMS model. Okay, so these are some basic things you want to understand. And once your development is done, what I have to do? You have to go to the build the solution. What happens if I build the solution? It will do multiple operations. The first thing is, whenever you create a table, it will not go and sit in the database. It has to be synced into the database. That is done by right clicking on the project, going into the properties, synchronize database on build. You have to select true, click on apply, okay, then go for build. It will build and send the table into the database. This is one operation. The synchronize of the database is one operation. The second one is checking the code and converting into DLLs. Why DLLs? Because AX7 from now will all work on IL. There is no P code. We used to call as P code in AX 2012. We don't have anything called as P code now. You write the code in X++, you build, it is converted into IL, intermediate language, or MSIL, or CIL, common intermediate language. And all your development, debugging, and deployment, whatever it is done, not deployment because deployment has got some other ways, but development and debugging, everything is taken in Visual Studio. The version is 2015 now. They may come up with 2017 or some other version in future, but the version is 2015 now. Remember this. Okay, so that's why AX7 will always have only DLLs. You'll see DLLs everywhere. If you want to do something, debugging, you have to load those files, symbol files, we call it symbol files. You have to load those symbol files related to DLLs and start the debugging. I'll tell you how to do it. Okay, so but yeah, this is all about the architecture and the basic stuff and how to open a project or how to create a project, select the model and drag and drop the object. Now you have, I don't know if you have environment, if someone has got environment, just open the environment once, become familiar with this Visual Studio, and yeah, by the end of the course, you'll become familiar with Visual Studio, don't worry, but still if you have some time, go ahead and become familiar with Visual Studio so that we'll understand more things in the next session. And I want you to just watch all the things and go through these things a couple of times before you come to the next session so that you can ask more queries and we'll go in more query and answer mode. I want everyone to understand whatever we are learning. It is not like, I'm just showing something and you're watching here, going home. It's not like that. I want this to be interactive. Ping the queries, I'll answer. And this is about the syllabus. I didn't come up with, very detailed one by one step because I don't have much time. And I'll try to get one by one step. But yeah, these are all things we are going to cover. If I don't cover something, you always have one space here. Just click on enter, add something, whatever it is. Okay. For now, I'm assuming I covered all the things because I just came up with the very new thing called a sign of command, which is introduced in platform update 8 or 11 or 12, whatever it is. And I'm coming up with all the things, whatever is available as per Microsoft. But if you still find something, please always ping me. I'm ready to add that because I can learn. Okay. So Priya is asking, can we get video of daily sessions? I don't know, maybe you can communicate with the front office guys because I'm not organizer, I'm just presenter and they are the guys recording. So please sync with them. Okay. You can ping in kind of a private forum, these kind of things, unless you don't want to ask everyone. Okay. And yeah, if you have any queries, please ping. Now it's your time. I pinged you the kind of notes I made in my environment, in my notepad, and it is more of interactive stuff. Again, please ping, ask your queries. If you don't have any queries, I'll leave. And the plan is to, these 2 days, even tomorrow we are going to have from 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. IST, but we may need to adjust the time. Should be either 7 to 8 or 8 to 9. I'll see what is the time we can, sync, and you can also let me know the best time you can join the class. Recording, you have to speak with the front office people. I mean, our people are there, right? Our people who are speaking with you, asking your names and stuff, please sync with them. Okay?
Hi, Kumar.
One second. I got few more queries, please. Okay, where 7 to 8, okay, I'm good, I understood. You can tell them. One question, not maybe related here. Will D365 sales also use X++? Sales means sales module or sales guys. If it is sales guys, I don't think sales guys need D365 X++ because they'll show more of functional. But yeah, few pre-sales guys will do the POCs, development, etc. And if it is sales module, it will use X++. And AX completely will use only X++. We don't use C#. We can integrate with C#. I'll tell you how when we go to the integration stuff or using some other languages in AX, but it is more of X++. Yeah, someone is speaking. Please ask your question now.
I have one doubt. Okay. So when we you're telling that we can download.
We are not able to hear your voice. Venkat, you are not audible.
Hello.
What after? Yeah. What after download?
Yeah. Actually, so when we download AX, because I was just hearing retail. So can we, means the same machine, can we do a development on retail as well?
You want to develop something related to POS?
Correct. On the same VM machine, can we just make our make, like, I just want to practice retail as well on the same development machine?
Um, yes.
Okay.
But you should have these main projects and stuff, retail SDK or projects and stuff. I'm actually not a retail developer, but if you get them and copy them, you can develop and move your DLLs to the POS and stuff. You see here retail modern POS and cloud POS also, right? If you go to INET
Yeah.
Manager, you saw the cloud POS. The meaning is everything is there in one machine, retail server, cloud POS, etc. But I'm not going to speak about retail POS development because I'm not POS developer. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
And I don't know, it is all about TypeScript now. So if you are good at TypeScript, you can. I don't know if you are MPOS developer or Cloud POS developer.
So I have a basic background of retail, so I just want to explore on those lines as well. So I just want to check, like, if we can use the
Okay.
same machine on the retail R&D as well.
This is the machine, you can use as you got a machine from LCS paid machine. But the only thing is you'll have few restrictions, like you cannot move the code in LCS or you cannot do upgrades and stuff. You cannot connect this machine to LCS. And whatever the operation need LCS, you cannot do them. Other than that, this machine is exactly an equal replica.
Oh, great.
Okay?
Thanks, Kumar. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you how to download. I don't know if you already have account and downloaded. I'll tell others. So right, yeah, I'll tell you how to download Vali. I think it takes one more day or 2 more days. I think maybe I'll come up with the same tomorrow if possible. Okay, so I'll tell you how to download. You can work right away after downloading. I'll tell you.
Hello.
But you should have good machine as I told you. Yeah, Seenu?
Actually, I'm looking for D365 advanced version.
We are going with only advanced, not basic. If you know all these
See,
things and you want only, extensions, overlaying stuff, it takes time because there are a lot of things.
okay.
Okay, I think advanced meaning you want to go with overlaying and extensions and chain of command or, other things, right?
I don't
Entities.
know. I want a 2012 also, basics to advanced.
Sorry.
I want to the 2012 on the advanced version, basics to advanced. I'm looking for.
Oh, you want 2012 also?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think you have to just give your feedback to the front office guys, because I was told
Okay.
all the guys who are joining this batch knows AX 2012 and they want only AX7. They want to upgrade to AX7 because you see the pings, right? All the guys pinged saying, AX 2012, go to AX7. That is what they told. Okay, so I mean, just give your feedback. We'll plan that. Don't worry.
Okay, fine.
Okay, cool then. Yeah, it's time. I just want to make a move. And if you have anything, we'll see how it goes in the next session. Then we'll plan more things. Okay. And till then, you can, if you want to speak with me, you can sync with front office. They'll keep a conference and they'll connect to me at some point when I'm free. And yeah, we can also speak. Okay, but Saturday, Sunday should be fine to speak. I'll be busy, all the day otherwise. Okay. Thank you for your time, man. Great day. And again, as I told you, if you don't want to pay the fee, still you'll get 3 to 4 days or 2 to 3 days free sessions, right? Just sit in this. You'll understand something in AX7. And if you feel like it's your kind of technology, you can join. Otherwise, you can skip. No worries. But still, you'll understand some technology to some extent. Okay. So thank you for your time here. They didn't respond. No, I mean they'll. I'll tell them. Okay, just ping me. I'll tell them. If anyone want to connect to the conference, I'll tell them, or I'll give my number. In a couple of days once everyone join in the stuff. I'll give you my number, or I'll give my other number. You can ping me. Okay, I'll respond. Okay, then thank you for your time. Great day. Till then, bye. We'll meet again tomorrow, same time, 7:30 a.m. Enjoy. I'm ending the meeting for all.